very welcome back. Now, former Friends star Jennifer Aniston regularly piques the public's interest. So when she revealed the secret behind her fantastic figure, it undoubtedly made headlines.
Yes, many stars are crediting their successful weight loss to intermittent fasting. And it looks like it's here to stay. But how does it work, and could it work for you? Well, nutritionist Heather Leeson joins us now to discuss. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Let's be honest, Jennifer Aniston has always had an incredible figure since time began.
Yes.
So really, anything that she does is going to make headlines, but not necessarily she can attribute it to intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
It is catching the world by storm.
A lot of people are doing it. So what it basically means is that you stop eating or eat very little for a certain amount of time. And there are loads of different ways to do it. Now, some of them are a little bit wacky or even dangerous, where you're going for long periods of time without eating anything. There's one called the warrior diet, where you just have one meal a day, and that's very famous. Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Twitter, that's what he does, so one meal a day. Now, I don't think that that is a good idea. Fasting for long periods of time, not necessarily great for many, many people, but there are easier ways to do it. And I think the way that Jennifer Aniston is doing it, and a lot of the celebs doing it, is what we call time-restricted feeding. And that is also called 16-8. So that is where you fast for up to 16 hours a day. So from 12 to 16 hours a day, you're not eating anything. And you would do that every day. And that sounds tricky.
You would do it every day, Heather?
Every day. Or, you know, for us normal mere mortals, even 5 days a week will give you many of the benefits. But the thing about it is that for some of that time, you're asleep.
Okay.
So even if you did 12 hours, say you had your dinner at 7 o'clock in the evening, had your breakfast at 7 in the morning, you've done a 12-hour fast.
So it's taking out the snacking element at night.
And that's one of the benefits.
So just walk us through a typical, not necessarily what's in each meal, but what time the meals should happen for this to work in the Jennifer Aniston kind of way.
If you want to do 16 hours, which is where the research shows you get the best benefit, that would be your dinner at 6 o'clock in the evening, breakfast at 10 o'clock the next day, and in between your dinner and your breakfast, you eat nothing. Now, you might drink water, go mad and have a bit of herbal tea or a cup of tea or coffee black, but that is it. So you don't have any food.
Do you think a lot of people are doing it without realising that? People who don't like to snack at night?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think 50 years ago, we didn't snack anyway. So that is how we traditionally would have eaten. And it makes sense on a lot of levels. So a lot of people are doing it because it helps to lose weight. And that is one of the main benefits. But beyond even restricting calories, because you're naturally cutting out some of the rubbish, for example, you eat in the evening, you're actually changing how your body manages insulin. And that is why it's so helpful for losing weight. And it really does work. It's easy. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to look at points. You don't need any special books or anything. You just literally stop eating.
So your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner at 7, let's say.
7,
And don't eat another thing afterwards.
Yeah.
Apart from fluids.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
then the next day you have your breakfast 12 hours later.
Yeah.
And is that giving your digestive system a break as well as, I suppose, losing calories?
Loads of benefits beyond losing calories. Certainly for people with sensitive stomachs, it can help because you're giving your body a break. Actually, digesting food is quite an energy draw for our body. So giving a break helps digestion, helps insulin sensitivity as well. So that's going to help lose weight, but also the 250,000 people in Ireland who are pre-diabetic are going to get a benefit from that too. And in terms of our heart health, reduces cholesterol, reduces blood pressure. So there's loads of different benefits, and even for our brain. Now, it's thought to reduce inflammation in the brain, help neuroplasticity, which is brain connections. And a lot of people who do intermittent fasting will report feeling much better, much clearer in the morning, much more able to focus, more energy, actually, which is kind of the opposite what you would expect. But it is really, really helpful for some people.
You've spoken about doing it overnight, which seems to be the easiest option. What about if you're doing it during the day? People have busy lives. We need fuel. We need our calories. You could get very lightheaded if you're fasting intermittently or for your 12 hours during the day.
Yeah, you could. So it's much easier to do it at night. And I have to say, you know, despite all of the benefits that I've just talked about, it is not suitable for everyone. You've brought up that feeling lightheaded. So someone who's, for example, diabetic should absolutely not do it unless they've been very carefully monitored. Pregnant people, breastfeeding, kids, anyone under 18 should not be doing it. Anyone who's underweight, so BMI of less than 18.5 shouldn't do it. Anyone with a history of eating disorders and on certain medications. So there are some caveats around it. The other thing is, I mean, there's lots of research on this, but It's short-lived. We haven't been researching this very long, and a lot of the studies are on animals, so we really don't know the long-term benefits for humans. And the other big caveat, of course, is that you can't just do your 12-hour fast and then eat junk for the rest of the day and expect to get the benefits.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, so you still have to go for the healthy choices when you're in your what's called feeding window. So those 8 to 12 hours where you are eating, you still need to make.
And
make
Heather,
healthy
is this
choices.
something we should be doing on a daily basis, or is this kind of once a week?
No, daily.
Daily?
This is daily, so the more you can do it, it's like many things, the more you do it, the more benefit you get. Now, you do not have to do it 7 days a week. You will get quite a lot of the benefits doing it 5 days a week. So say Monday to Friday, I think is a lot of how a lot of people do it.
Yeah, because people eat later or eat out at the weekend.
And equally, you know, the research to show the real benefits is at 16 hours fasting, but most of those benefits are available even after 12 hours fasting.
The other Hollywood diet, the 5-2 diet, seemed to be hugely successful last year and the year before.
Yeah.
You explained that to us. Which is better?
So they're both forms of intermittent fasting. I think the 5-2, which is where you restrict your calories to under 500 2 days a week, will work equally well. It's just a little bit harder to follow because you've got a lot of people dread those 2 days where you're not going to be eating very much and you're thinking about food.
Yeah.
So the intermittent fasting is a lot more easy for
But Heather,
people to
you've been
follow.
with us for years and you've often spoke about the fact that you do not agree or approve of diets. And here we are talking about diets.
This is not a diet. That's the difference. So this is just a way of eating, which is that you're not eating for 12 hours. And I think for a lot of people, it's worth trying it, particularly if you're someone who's maybe pre-diabetic or got some, gained weight and wants to lose it. I'll be talking to a lot of people about this before Christmas as they get ready for the party season.
Yeah.
It's very safe to try. Now, obviously, if you're on medication or you have a health condition, you need to talk to your doctor about it. Just start at 12 hours. And that might be, you know, what works for you. You can try extending it a little bit if you're enjoying it. You don't want to go above 16 hours. And I think 12 hours is fine for
Because we've
most of
listened
us.
to health experts, nutritionists like yourself, even our parents growing up, about the importance of breakfast being the most important meal of the day. And now there's a suggestion of maybe delaying that.
Now, I still think breakfast is important, but you can have your breakfast at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
You know. Now, if someone's started work at 4 o'clock in the morning, that might not work for them. But the diet is this way of eating, sorry, you're right, and it's not a diet, it's very flexible. So if you eat later one night, you have your dinner at 9 o'clock, then you just start at 9 o'clock the next day. So it's really flexible.
And what is it about whenever we talk about intermittent fasting or eating that I get really hungry? Do you not?
All I can
Starving
think
now.
about is food.
Me too. So maybe we're better off trying it when we're asleep.
We haven't ever listened so carefully to an item in our entire lives.
Wow, very interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I'd love to
It's
read more on it.
really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks very
I look
much, Heather.
forward to hearing how you get on.
Heather.
Thank you.